people still that don't want it in positions of power. But I don't think we've seen, other than mostly from the United States, but we haven't seen enough of the other world powers, particularly Russia, be willing to say, you know what, we've all lived with this long enough. Who's benefiting anymore by this constant turmoil in the Middle East? I mean, we're fighting over the one part. You know, they say Jews are smart. Really? Moses found the one place in the Middle East that doesn't have oil?
They found it now offshore.
Off Haifa.
But that could lead to bigger fights.
I just got.
Introduce yourself.
I'm sorry, Josh Shapiro. I'm actually a nominee. Was nominated by John Carden, so this is very big in his heart. But I just got back from Israel 2 days ago. For those that know about Birthright, this is sort of an extension of Birthright. It's an alumni trip, and instead of doing sort of sightseeing, we met with Jewish leaders, and we're only really based in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. We also got to go to Shimon Peres puts on a presidential conference once a year for the past, I think it's in the third or fourth year. Saw Henry Kissinger get the Presidential Medal of Freedom, but the conference was about tomorrow and what is going to happen tomorrow. I also got to go to Beit Shemesh, which is a little north of Jerusalem. It's sort of a microcosm of the bigger problems in Israel, and we met with Shimon Peres also has a Center for Peace, and sort of wrapping everything together, we met with Arab and Jewish younger women, and they were trying to promote dialogue between Arabs and Jews, because when you build a wall, you can't really have dialogue. One of our impact projects for the trip that I took, it was a leadership mission. We have to come back to DC and sort of do a project to promote dialogue. What do you think, what is your best idea today compared to when you went in 1979 of sort of how we can promote dialogue, what I can possibly do for an impact project that you could see has the biggest impact in DC?
The internet to begin with. I mean, I think much of the Arab Spring happened because technology permitted it to happen, permitted the instant communication. I would argue that if we didn't have the technology in 1989, communism wouldn't have fallen. Because what happened, we had copycat activities. The fall of the wall happened literally every other month. Another communist state fell. That wasn't coincidence. It's because they saw on television and on the internet, they saw exactly what was happening in Poland and then what happened in Berlin, and that's why. And everyone was copying. It was the same thing now with the Arab Spring, using more sophisticated internet. So I think and since young people use it, I really think better minds than mine, and of your age group, and people that are really know how to work, all the sophistication that is going into the use in the presidential campaign here in the United States of technology to get out the right votes, etc. If you would put your minds together on how do we communicate with as many young people as possible throughout the Middle East to get that dialogue going, there's your magic. Not waiting for the two major leaders to get together and
Now,
no one's listening to
now, do you think that it would have an impact if we did that here in the States? Because some people have their own view against a two-state solution or not. And do you think that would promote dialogue here in the States, that we could eventually help a little bit, have a hand in what they're doing?
The first discussion to a young person is not what is the solution. The first question with young people, well, not question, the first thing you ought to do with young people is just get them to talk and like each other. I have always said, because I'm often in a position of defending my student show, is what I could take, and I firmly believe this, 10 people, because I believe we're all alike. I believe the people on my show are exactly like the people in this room. It's just that we all dress better. And our language is better because we went to better schools. So maybe we had better luck in the gene pool of parents. But generally, if I take 10 people in there, 10 22-year-olds of any nationality, in any income group, within 5 minutes, assuming they could all speak the same language, the conversation would be exactly the same. They'd be talking about music, dating, movies they've seen, where they're going to get a job. The interests are universal.